as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I'm delighted to start off the show with someone who is truly emblematic of Marbella and its history, but I only met him a couple of weeks ago. Such is life here. It's a small area, but 27 kilometers, and right now, Eladio Roman, you are working in Capapino. That's where you have your restaurant in the East Marbella. So lovely to welcome you to the program.
Well, also, I thank you very much for inviting me and for bringing me to the program. And I'm delighted to be collaborate with this program and explain part of my past life and my situation and how much we working for Marbella and how much we put interest, because I think Marbella is one of the most beautiful cities, touristic, in the world.
Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm original from a small village of the north of Spain, but I never actually lived in there, because since I was a baby, I went to England when I was only 17 years old, and I spent 38 years, part of my life. I love the country, I love the people. Everything I know is thanks to British, English people to help me to be now where we are.
How did it come about that you would go to England back in those days, which wasn't the most common thing like we have been doing until now, coming and going as we please?
Well, unfortunately, my father and my mother, they went to England in 1955, and he left me in Spain lonely for all these years until I was 17. I went back home in England. I get a flight. It cost me very hard to get in, because it was not easy to get the money and to get the flight. But then I went to England when I was 17 and saw such a beautiful country. I learning a lot. Everything I know, all my knowledge is thanks to the English people. Put me on the road, on the line, and I started working also in the top restaurants in the city, and I learned everything from there, and I spending all my years to get promotion. I have a restaurants there for many years. I spent all my life, and I think it was wonderful teaching, learning, and the country where you have England.
It's so curious, because my story is completely the inverse. I went to the north of Spain, and I felt it was just so refreshing to have the beautiful countryside of England without the English. And I learned so much, and it was such a great learning for me to spend my years here in Spain, and yet it's been the opposite. To go from nothing to having restaurants in England isn't easy. That must have taken you, what was the process?
Well, lucky enough, working, I was used to work in a factory, and certainly some people who work in there, they knew how good I am, how much interested we want to be in the catering. They in London, England, they have the most beautiful restaurants from Italy, not so many from Spain, but from Italy. And I say I like to have my own business. Hard, because it was difficult for the Spaniards to making solid in England, but I did lucky. I opened a company who was Mario Franco. We have about 5 restaurants, and then I opened one on the city, And I dedicate all my life, 37 years, dedicate to the restaurants. And,
In England?
In England, always in England. And I learn everything as a person who anyone he can go there and learning. For me, it was a great experience. So, in 1982, somebody proposed me from Marbella to come into enjoying this lovely city. I didn't know where it was Marbella. I didn't know. I know Spain, but I didn't know this part of the world. When I came in 1982, and I discovered Marbella, the city, I say, this is my place. What it was good for me, it was big advantages, is I have all the knowledge from England, all the knowledge from the restaurants, also the language, but from that is the knowledge of to know as English way a system. So in that moment I met a guy who was from Wales, from Cardiff, Eddie Abel.
Excuse me.
And Eddie, he proposed me to come into Marbella, and I never thinking. I come in straight away and says, let's open a restaurant, and first time, and I say, okay, let's go, and I don't mind, I don't frightened to be open anywhere in the world.
Was this at the same time as your restaurant chain back in the UK?
Yeah, still my restaurants in UK working fantastic.
It's still there today?
Still, no, I sold all of them, and I come in to dedicate totally to this lovely city, Marbella, and I open a restaurant, they call it Silks, on Porto Banús, which everybody, 90% of the English people, knew this restaurant, because in the next 5 years after we opened 1982, it was the number one restaurant of everybody. All the best top golfers from England, all the best celebrities like Ross Stewart, Engelbert, Diana Ross, and so on, so on, so many, all the celebrities coming to Silks. It was a restaurant becoming so famous, which in 2 years you got to reserve 3 months in advance if you want to get food there.
I never got to go, and at that time I was here. My parents were out a lot, and it was that restaurant that just had that reputation. If you want to go to Silks, book 3 months in advance. Eddie was very much the face of that restaurant.
Yes.
I don't really remember there being an Eladio Roman, but you were, I mean, it's everything. You were the brain behind it. As you say, that experience of how a real restaurant was run back then in Marbella was unique.
Well, Eddie, I'm so lucky I met him in England, and if I'm here now, it was thanks to him because he brought me to Marbella. And we decided to open a restaurant together, and he was a great guy, big guy, light heavyweight champion, boxer from Cardiff, from Wales. And we all together, we done a great team because he bringing all the celebrities, all the famous people, because he knew, and my businesses, my knowledge has been open for experience I have from England. I have a great team from England, working, and all together we're making such a beautiful restaurant, famous, good quality food, number one, people enjoying the ambience. 80% was English people, and really we trying to make it number one, and we did. In 2 years we are top level of Porto Banús and the whole of all the Gold Coasters, all the golfers that used to come in, all the top people, celebrities, and that was making so famous place.
Well, you have quality, and you obviously have the passion that not only back in '82, but you carry it through today, 2021, and going strong. Don't go away. We're chatting with Eladio Roman. He is the owner of Portofino, which is a lovely gourmet Italian restaurant in Cabo Pino Port. But he was also the co-owner with ADA of Silks back in Puerto Banús in the day. And all these years later, excellence continues. We'll be chatting after the break.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Linear Director, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a zero-hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
Our welcome Zero Heroes. How many visitors?
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? G-Wine.
Thank you. Clara are proud to present Zero the Hero. Never drink and drive.
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
Out of bounds, Zero Hero partners.
Here we are, sticker going on. Delighted to welcome everybody and to be part of the Zero Hero campaign. Delighted.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Zero Hero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
Welcome back to part 2 of the show. I'm starting off this week with actually a legend of Marbella's culinary history. His name is Eladio Roman. He was the co-owner with Eddie Avoth of Silks back in the day in '82, but now in 2021, you have this amazing restaurant that's actually hard to believe. It's a gem, a hidden gem in Cabo Pino Port, Portofino. Again, Italian cuisine, sticking to what you know. Very clever. The place is enormous. I couldn't believe it when, thanks to Ian Harvey, I met you, went to the restaurant, and how long's that been there?
Well, Portofino has been there for 32 years. And really we like to make an amazing gastronomic restaurant. Number one, top, especially in Italian. We have, I think, the best gastronomic Italian dishes, Italian pasta, Italian pizza, and also on the other side we have the most delicious Mediterranean cuisine, which is that we dedicate exclusive at the top quality, like the best fish and the best meat you can have anywhere, and on the best spot of the whole Marbella, which is Porto Cabo Pino. Porto Cabo Pino is got one of the most beautiful beach around you can ever see. And also around, it's a little place where everybody, it cannot go to Marbella and not go to Cabo Pino.
Well, it's amazing how many people come to Marbella, think that Puerto Banús is Marbella. You know, you started off that trend back in the 80s. It's your fault. I think now, particularly with the situation, having had lockdown, the tourists not being here, we're doing more staycations. People are going out more locally because we're not going away. And so we are actually exploring the 27 kilometers. And I ventured out as, again, thank you for joining our Zero Hero incentive. Ian Harvey contacted me. We'll be chatting with him tomorrow. But it's nice to see now that, as I say, you've been here for years. And I know about silks. I've heard of Portofino, but it was exquisite. It really is a place to go. And Cabo Pino Port is so idyllic.
Well, you know, the reason is Marbella. I always believe in the most beautiful tourist city in the world. Everybody knows, even outside, in England, America, all over the world, people coming to see Marbella because they got one of the most beautiful towns, and we have one of the most best Marbella mayor, which is a lady, Doña Ángeles Muñoz, is one of the best. She working very hardly to Marbella to get absolutely in a high top level, which I think we are. What's happened now? I know it's a very difficult situation. We go through coronavirus, all this virus, all the difficult economicals, but I always believe, I'm sure Marbella, it will never come down. Marbella is still there, even in the worst part of the world with this pandemic, with this virus, with all the consequence of the whole world is happens, but we still Marbella. And I thought I was spending to make sure I'm making one of the best restaurants, Italians, I'm Mediterranean, in the best part of the world, which is Porto Cabo Pino, with the best beach, small, little, calling town, where everybody it cannot come into Marbella and not visit Cabo Pino. Say that I put all my 100% heart into Porto Cabo Pino, into Portofino, because I believe we're going to be very, very successful. And in a few months, the world will change and people start to coming out, start to living his own life as like it was before.
It's funny, every adversity produces a new opportunity, because I've walked past Portofino in previous years, and obviously you've always been very, very busy. And it's only now, because locally we are going out more, partly to support local businesses, partly because, as I say, we're not going away, we're spending more money locally. It's been a great opportunity to find the restaurant, meet yourself, because I think a lot of residents, we don't realize what goes on behind the scenes to offer this level of excellence from your part, from our mayor's part. There's a lot of hard work that doesn't get seen to make it all shine so brightly.
Well, as I say, coming to the difficult moments, you got to think in two things very important. One is, that's why we very, very successful, thinking of put the prices in a high level down, because difficult situations, economical, even for residentials who live in here, even for the Spanish people who also live in here working. And I say the only successful is put the prices down and making higher the quality. You're giving the best value for quality. I put the prices down quite a lot, because for me it now is not the money, it's the support. Keep it going, get the
Keep your
business
staff working.
Keep the business working, because I knew the good days and the good moments, it will come in very, very soon. Then you will time. But now, the only thing you can survive is giving to your people best quality and good quality prices.
It's wonderful because your business is a family business. You put your heart and soul in your business. You stay surrounded there working with your family. You're very collaborative with the community. You're always very much there. And it's nice to see that a lot of people get scared. I think they just take on the hype. Like I walk around Puerto Banús, a lot is open. But everyone likes to put on their Facebook what isn't open. People like the scandal. And I think it's important that people realize that even with Brexit, nothing's changed. Everything will settle down. There are more people coming. The tourists will come back. It's, as you say, supporting the local businesses, going out if we can, particularly ones that are very interactive with the community. We will get through this.
Well, the reason is not only depending on you. You only a break main to keep it going with enthusiasm. You put all your heart there, but it's your group, the group of the waiters, the chefs, the people working with you, the people who believe in you, the people who support you, because it's not only me, I can do it. So I got tremendous team, which everybody working very hard to give it the best service, the best food, even the chefs.
I mean, and even
quality.
the toilets, they're gorgeous. And I loved it when we chat last week and I aired it on the show and you brought up the point of, oh, must have good toilets, very important, the toilets. Little things, obviously, that you say from England that just stick in the mind. For English people, this is a big deal.
Yeah, I think, and as you just say, very clear to me, in the restaurants, there's two things you got to be thinking very carefully and very important. One is for English people, even for every person who come into the restaurant and see toilets, they're not tight, they're not clean. That means is the rest of the restaurant. If that is not proper done, the restaurant it could be not even tidy. Also, very important, you can take anyone, any customer to the kitchen, showing the kitchen and see how clean, immaculate, because that's so. Even the chefs, they immaculate looking when people come into the restaurant, say hello, and they say, how do you like it, sir, your food? What you like me to cook for you? Be family.
And you could see everybody was taking pride. I really enjoyed one of the best meals I've had in Marbella. I would definitely be going back to East Marbella just to come and visit you. The views are incomparable. I mean, you really have a great beach, great expanse of views across Gibraltar, Africa, good beach, excellent food, everything going for it, and zero hero partners. So it's really nice that if you are a designated driver and you go with friends who are drinking, that you won't pay for your soft drinks. Again, incentives just to get people to realize that it's more than just a business. This is a family that's got a commitment to our city, and I think that needs to be rewarded as well. I find it fascinating how much you love Marbella.
Well, the reason is when the people come to you, it's not only sitting and giving the menu. Now, it's giving the most welcome with a lovely smile, which it costs nothing. And then also carefully thinking what people thinking they want to eat. You got to be intelligent to say, to suggest with imagination what the customer wants and how they want. And that's why you have to give in attention, love, smiling, quality, and value. That's the 5 things. If that you can think and you can do that, you got to be successful. If you're thinking smiling is cost you very hard or it costs money, forget it. Don't be there. And people when it comes to the restaurant, it want to all the problems they got, which we have enough, a lot. Forget it. You just giving the welcome, treating as a welcome, feeling important. Customer got to feel very important. That's, I'm going to make a very clear point. Customer, when sit down, it got to be important. Doesn't matter what they eating, what they having. A simple pizza and simple pasta. The smiling and a giving how important is when they're sitting. Doesn't matter what they pay, what they eating, what they're drinking. If you seven drink one glass of wine properly, with a nice smiling, put on the table. Thank you very much, lady. Thank you, sir, for coming to Portofino. It's complimenting.
You've come a long way in your personal life. You've made yourself. Everything's been done yourself. When you look back to how you were, do you see yourself now, when, as you're saying, when everyone comes in the restaurant, do you have that ability because you're a very successful man, very big, important restaurant, you've met lots of very famous people. Do you still remember that humility of that could have been me, that was me?
My job in the restaurant is not being as an owner, sit down, look at how people come in. No, I always go to the door. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Come in, please, sit down, welcome, what you like to drink. And we always giving complimenting from the house. And from that moment, that people, if you treat them well, they feel very important. They feel happy. They feel respectful to you. And you just make sure you're giving the best service, the best food, the best quality, and you got lovely team support you to make sure when they leave the door, it says, Eladio, Roman, thank you very much. Lovely meal. We come back, or book me for tomorrow, or book me for next week, and return again. That is what's professional.
I think it's amazing that not only that, obviously you do that, you achieve it, but you've done it for so many years and maintained the same ilusión, the same passion. And it's a curious word. I don't think I would have thought of the word important, but it is important how people feel when they've met you. And undeniably, not just for myself and the table I was at, it was very apparent that everybody felt, you go around every table, that they were important to you, that you valued the custom. And I think that is something that's lacking in many places, that people are valued, their custom is valued. We're not just numbers.
Well, if you're in a restaurant and you got no passion, you got nothing. If you are empty inside, just to say hello and give them menus and sit down and leave the customers to the side, no. You got to be sit down and start to help them from the morning they arrive. You just say, what you fancy today? What do you like it? What is your idea? What is your taste you want to be? You want a nice pasta, you want a nice fish, you want a lovely meat, you want a lovely pizza. Doesn't matter what, but it's the passion of giving a customer a smiling and helping for he feel relaxed with his wife. Say to the lady, hello lady, how are you? How you feel? How was your meal? Go to every table, make sure everybody they're happy. Whatever is missing, you're always there. When they open,
this is what it's like when you're there. He comes to your table, he talks to you, he makes sure you're enjoying yourself and understand the different salts and the oils and the pizza oven and how everything really is impeccable. This man knows what he's doing and he's done it for years. We have to leave it there for today, but Eladio is the most perfect host, and I really genuinely had one of the best meals I've had on the Costa del Sol in a long time. The views are impeccable. Everything was wonderful. Please do go check it out, because right now we do have to support each other. Hashtag better together. Eladio, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. Only say that's the success of Portofino, nothing else. That is why we are successful, Portofino, because we have a love and care.
And I am so honored, really, to finally have met you and know all this about you. You just never know who you're sitting next to in Marbella.
Thank you very much.
We can change if we try.
puede